Dude, I think it's time for Operation 2-Bit. I don't think JD's around. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, Peter. Hey, welcome to the.
Dude, do it. Come on, go.
Okay, so think about the last time you played. Wasn't it fun when you were playing video games?
What the hell are you guys doing?
Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. You've just logged in.
It's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be a good experience. Smooth transition.
Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
What are you doing here, JD?
I'm here, you butt fingers. You thought you could ice me out, but guess what? I was already here.
I was here the whole time.
So
we did the intro without you, and it was good. And
that's debatable. I mean,
you don't know.
No. By your metric of good, it was pretty good.
Yeah, good as
like
good.
It was a Peterson good.
Good as Peterson is hand me a degree. What were your grades? They were good enough.
Yeah, like Peterson. I remember he told me this story. He used to come home to his mom, and he'd have straight C's, and she would tell him every time. She'd say, "Way to go! You got straight Peterson A's." I'm so proud of you, son.
Why did my mom call me Peterson?
I don't know. Probably for the same reason you guys thought C's were A's.
I mean, it's close. A, B, C. It's real close in the alphabet. It's not a Z.
So I went to McDonald's for lunch this week.
Wow.
Surprise.
How much do you hate yourself?
I really have stopped eating at McDonald's for the most part because these butt fingers are always hassling me over it, and I'm not like a huge fan of being hassled.
Hassled in what way?
Yeah, we don't hassle.
Hassled and we hassle you, or
Yeah,
hassled and
we hassle him?
So
No,
we are said butt fingers.
I'm concerned for his safety. I don't know if that's hassling you.
It's like you go. So, well, they have that new Szechuan sauce from Rick and Morty.
The Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce.
So, if you guys don't watch Rick and Morty,
You should.
Just turn this off because go watch Rick and Morty and then come back. We also have a Rick and Morty episode if you want to go back, dig through the archives. But
it's there.
Quality content.
Love Rick and Morty on this podcast. And one of these sketches, it was season 3, right? It's the end of season 3.
It was the first episode of season 3.
Okay, so the first episode of season 3, which was unceremoniously dropped online just randomly after people have been begging for season 3.
Well, it was dropped on April Fool's Day, where they were streaming it just from their website, and so it just kind of started circulating the interwebs. Rick and Morty season 3 is out, but it was April Fool's Day, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah, and so one of these things that it was just kind of an inside joke sort of in the episode is that Rick, the main character, is obsessed with this special dipping sauce that McDonald's released for the promotion of the 1997 movie Mulan.
And none of the realities he finds still has it.
Yeah, like there's nowhere that you can still get this sauce. 90? Did I say 7? Because it's 98.
It's 98.
I'm terribly sorry. So
that's all right.
All of you huge Mulan fans,
dude,
please don't add us on
gone.
Twitter.
They're gone. All the Mulan fans have logged off, and they're gone now. So
97?
Sorry about that. But they released the sauce, and as soon as they released it, it was gone. And Szechuan sauce, it's called Szechuan sauce, and Szechuan sauce is a thing. Like it's not like they invented Szechuan sauce; they just had their special version of it, just like they have sweet and sour sauce and barbecue sauce.
And ranch.
But Rick
Just
is obsessed with this, and
ketchup,
Honey mustard.
regular mustard.
like spicy barbecue, Cholula.
Polynesian sauce.
I got
Chick-fil-A.
lost. I forgot what we were doing. So they bring back. So McDonald's a couple months ago was like, "Oh, you Rick and Morty fans are such nerds. We'll bring back the sauce. You guys will like it." And appropriately, because it's a small show on Comedy Central, they thought, well, let's release a small release of these things. And so they sent probably, I think it was like 500 stores, got like 20 packets each. 20, I'm like sauce, what are they called?
Sauce
Packets?
containers.
Sauce containers. Which obviously was not enough. I mean, even if this was a really small show. So because Rick and Morty fans are some of the worst people in the world, they like overreacted, freaked out. They were jumping on the counters at McDonald's. There were like videos of this, like freaking out, like, "I'm Pickle Rick, I want my sauce," which is supposed to be ironic and like a joke, but it actually was like super cringe-inducing, and everyone's like, "Dude, now I can't tell people in public that I like Rick and Morty because they will associate me with your asinine actions." So
so funny.
McDonald's marketing team always happy to have their job done for them. Was like, sweet. Well, okay. Well, people are stupid obsessed with this. People are willing to risk misdemeanor charges to get the sauce
and drive hundreds of miles to get the sauce.
Let's release this in a wide release, and they released. And honestly, this sauce, I had it a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't release the McRib this November like they always do, I'd be okay if they just had this sauce.
Really?
I have been eating McNuggets my whole life, and I have been lamenting. I don't remember the Mulan sauce. I do not remember this Szechuan sauce, but I've been lamenting the loss of the sweet chili sauce that they released for the 2014 Winter Olympics.
What? I mean, the Mickey D deep cuts is
that's me.
Insane.
That's my life, dude. No, we're gonna get into a lot of deep cuts, but I've been missing that sauce.
Wow.
I've been like, sweet chili sauce. God, I wish they'd bring that back. And if I was the writer of a popular cartoon show on Cartoon Network or on Comedy Central, I think I would be. I'd probably incorporate the sweet chili sauce into it, and I would. But this Szechuan sauce is unbelievable. You guys have to try it. It is. I mean, so good.
I bet it would be believable.
You would believe it?
Top quality production here at 3-Bit.
Here's the other thing. Like, you guys always talk shit on
you?
Me and McDonald's, but this sauce, most of their dipping sauces, first ingredient's like corn syrup. Second ingredient's like high fructose corn syrup. First ingredient on this one is sugar. Real sugar. They use real sugar in this sauce.
Mickey D's is starting to...
Second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup.
No, they've
there are like
actually
30 different markets where they're serving fresh beef right now.
Yeah, they're actually, like, this is a thing. Like, I guess
McDonald's
all those
like
trolly Wendy's ads are finally taking their toll.
They're trying to be good now.
Yeah.
So, we've got this. We've got Szechuan sauce back. We've got Crystal Pepsi back. We've got the Power Rangers again.
Oh, gosh. What else do you want, JD?
Do you want me to list them?
I knew you had a list.
Number one.
Right when he started doing that, I knew he had a list.
You buttholes.
You fell for it.
Butterfinger BBs.
Is that why you've been saying buttfinger so much?
Yeah, because it's Butterfinger BBs.
Oh.
That's what I want to talk about.
I'm actually okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
Do you guys remember those?
I didn't love them, though. I just like the regular Butterfingers.
But they were sponsored by Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I'm not a huge Simpsons fan.
So Jenna, my girlfriend, is
oh my gosh,
5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Which means I get to introduce her to a lot of like cool 90s culture. Like, she didn't know what Napster was.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that surreal to think of? Like,
Tell that story.
There are lots of people. They're like, most people under 25 don't know what Napster is.
Didn't Peterson have a poster of Sean Parker, the founder of Napster, shirtless?
And it was like purple. The background was purple,
and like low-riding pants.
Yeah,
I mean, as was the style at the time.
It was
low-riding
awesome.
Jinkos.
Did you,
Sean Parker?
Did you say a poster?
Yes.
Because I had at least 4.
He postered his walls. So Butterfinger BBs, Jenna had never heard of. She loves Butterfingers, and when I showed them to her, she was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Because the problem with Butterfingers is you take a bite off the bar and it
crumbles everywhere.
Explodes everywhere.
Not
Butterfinger
if you do it right.
BBs, you can just pour in your mouth. You get all the Butterfinger goodness. Here's another
Those
one.
are great movie theater food, by the way. The Butterfinger BBs were great at the movie theater because you're not dropping crumbs all over yourself while you sit there.
So to our young fans,
yeah,
maybe this could be our Szechuan sauce. Butterfinger BBs. Bring them back.
Maybe. I think we get one of these.
Okay, well, do you want to try it? What about instead, if you guys don't want, if you're not into
what else you got?
Our reputation on Butterfinger BBs, maybe we should try 3D Doritos.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
They weren't like different.
You guys are the assholes that are responsible for them getting rid of them.
Like, I'm okay with regular Doritos.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So if anyone's missing 3D Doritos, it's okay because Lay's released Lay's Poppables, and they have a very similar texture. The key with the 3D Doritos was the inside was really waxy.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
You want all your chips to
I want all my food
like
to be
waxiness.
Kind of waxy.
So if you want your
coating
waxy
in your mouth,
chips,
like it's just really obnoxious.
Lay's Poppables are pretty good. What about the Carl's Jr. Kentucky Bourbon Burger? Or as I lovingly refer to it as the KBB. Problem with Carl's Jr. is they rotate through all their like specialty burgers, and sometimes they don't come back.
I know.
The KBB was one of them. It had this Kentucky bourbon barbecue sauce. It was my first introduction to Kentucky barbecue sauce, like that type of like. Yep. And then they had onion rings, like onion straws. I'm sorry, onion straws on top of it, and I think they had blue cheese.
No, I did have that.
That
one,
was the
and
steakhouse
really
burger.
Oh, the steakhouse burger was so good.
I very rarely get to chime in on the weird food pop culture JD stuff. like in some ways it's like super annoying because like who gives a crap about waxy chips? But in some ways I'm like, wow, his library of snack knowledge is impressive.
I have
it's deep and it's vast.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I have two that I was so disappointed they got rid of. The first one, which is kind of random, I used to eat a lot of sunflower seeds, and my favorite, hands down, were the nacho cheese ones. Nobody makes nacho cheese.
Didn't they cause cancer
anymore.
in lab rats? Wasn't that the point of that?
Yeah, I don't care. Tastes good.
They didn't cause cancer in Peterson.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm not
Mountain
no lab rat.
Mountain Dew and nacho cheese.
Worst day of your life so far.
So that one was disappointing. The other one, though, was, do you remember when Funyuns had the Wasabi Funyuns?
Oh, goodness, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Really?
I loved them, and I would get them all the time. And still, I will 100% admit, still when I go to a gas station, I just do that quick look, hoping that they had brought them back and I didn't know.
Wasabi Funyuns.
Yeah, and I loved them.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. So good.
God, dude. See, they just need to bring... They brought back, like, Crystal Pepsi. They bring back these snacks, and people are into them.
Yeah, I think people weren't into Wasabi Funyuns as much as I was, but, man,
I actually guarantee they weren't.
And you guys mentioned Wendy's. Can we just get a quick, like, 1-minute Wendy's drag? Fuck Wendy's.
What's wrong with your
Wendy's?
Wendy's?
Is
wait,
the
what
worst.
happened?
Square patties?
I grew up in junior high, high school, and college eating Wendy's dollar menu, eating off of Wendy's
What did
value
they
menu,
do
and
to you?
because it was so good, they had these wraps. They had the Wendy's spicy Chipotle cheeseburger for $1. They had the cheesy cheddar burger for $1. They had the Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich for $1.50.
Like
they had JBCs. Their JBCs suck now. They've eliminated a lot of the ingredients, and they taste like garbage. Here's the thing, you guys, that's great. Like, whatever, I understand inflation. I understand that you have to increase the prices and that the dollar menu can no longer exist as it is, but that doesn't mean you have to eliminate everything wholesale that made your restaurant good.
All the good stuff.
It's all good.
Yeah.
You guys know Trent, you know Jackson. They've both been on the Sode, and we lived at Wendy's, and I talked to him just today because this kind of was on top of mind, obviously top of mind for me. They haven't eaten at Wendy's for years. And I haven't eaten at Wendy's for years because they get rid of everything that people love, and then they're just like, no, we're just Wendy's. We serve shit.
That's Arby's business model, though, and they're still in business.
Dude, Arby's has new stuff all the time.
Yeah, I like Arby's, actually. Their classics
But you know
are good
who's
enough.
been crushing it? You know who has filled the void in my life that Wendy's left?
Taco Bell.
What the hell? When did Taco Bell get so
Taco
good?
Bell.
Taco Bell is legit now.
They have a group of stoners back there.
They have a new.
Just with
did you
all
know they
the
have a new
ingredients,
sauce?
and they're like, "Hey, what do you guys want?"
Breakfast salsa. They're in the sauce packets.
They've got breakfast salsa.
It's called breakfast salsa. It's
Taco
the
Bell's my
best.
favorite.
We got to talk about video games.
Okay.
I swear to God, I could talk about fast food for 60 minutes straight.
Fast cast.
On the way out, this story to me is so crazy. You mentioned Taco Bell. This is like a running joke. When we were first married, my wife was like, hey, let's go out to fast food. I was thinking something healthy. And I was like, man, Taco Bell puts lots of tomatoes on their food. They're healthy. And she just like laughed me out of the room. She's like, Taco Bell is not the healthy option. 2 weeks ago, in Forbes magazine, there was an article, Taco Bell has quietly become the healthiest fast food restaurant chain in America.
They have changed. The last 5 years has been a wild roller coaster for Taco Bell.
I know we have video games. We've got great content. It's crazy. Like reading that article, like they've hired several nutritionists, several professional chefs. Like Taco Bell is crushing it.
This
Are
is crazy.
we like stereotypical gamers right now? We're like fast food menus,
Our producer
chips,
Dylan's just nodding.
and
He's
Mountain
like, yeah,
Dew, and Taco Bell.
Well, we're speaking to the audience. We are. So if you guys are wondering, we're not fake gamers. We eat what you eat.
We have
the same issues on the toilet that you do. We're struggling just as much with our Taco Bell as you guys are. So let's talk about video games. Let's talk about, this is great. You guys know I love these episodes. Let's talk about what we're playing.
What we're playing.
What are we playing? What's everyone playing right now?
These episodes are great when we actually have things that aren't
usually
called
it's like,
PUBG.
Oh, we're playing PUBG and
Well,
here's
I
the
am
storm.
playing PUBG, but I'm not going to talk about that.
We're playing PUBG. We don't want to be playing PUBG.
Who wants
wish
to talk?
Peterson wasn't playing PUBG.
Who is most excited about what they're playing right
Well,
now?
I'll start one because I have three.
Cap.
Okay. So my first one, I'll start with a good one. So I'm playing a game called Slay the Spire. Who's heard of it? Raise your hand if you heard of it. It is an indie.
Doesn't matter if Spencer's heard about it. He has an opinion.
I said indie. Want to hear the other tag that Spencer will hate?
Early access.
Early access. If you said dating sim, that'd be it.
No. But
I like dating sim more than early access because it's not a scam.
And here's the thing. I would stake money on it that Spencer would enjoy this game.
Tell us what it is.
So Slay the Spire is a deck-building, roguelike combat card game.
Oh, this is on Steam?
It's on Steam.
How
it's
much?
only on Steam right now, and it's, I think, $15.
Steam is the only release platform ballsy enough to release such an early.
Well,
deck-building roguelike.
Like other things, other platforms don't release so many early access games.
No, yeah.
That's the issue.
That's Steam's niche.
So I'll start this off by saying this game will be perfect on the Switch and on a mobile device. 100%. If they re-release it on mobile device, I will rebuy it
for $15.
For $15.
That speaks to how successful these platforms are.
Can you play with other people, or is this just a solo experience?
Right now. So here's what it is.
That's so cool.
So here's the gameplay. Let me give you the quick version.
Yep.
So you start off, and it's called Slay the Spire because you're like climbing up a spire essentially, and at the top is the main boss, right? And there's several different branching paths you can take. And you can see what's on there. If it's like a regular minion, if it's a boss, if it's a store, there's question mark ones where it can be all sorts of things where it'll give you events and stuff like that. But you start off the game, you start with 10 cards in your deck, and they're real basic. There's 5 basic attack and 5 basic defend cards. And you start with the mobs are really easy, you know what I mean? You beat them, and every time you win, you get a little gold, and you get to pick a new card out of 3 cards. So that's how you start building your deck. Every fight, you pick a new card.
How many cards total do you take with you?
You can have as many as you add. You can
accessible-
skip the adding cards. You don't have to add a card if you don't want to.
You can have as many cards as you want, like you can't run out?
No, because it's a deck game, a classic deck game where you get 5 cards, you play, you have 3 energy, and you play, they all have an energy cost.
Sure.
You play as many as you can, and then you put them in your discard pile. And then once you're out of cards in your draw, it just reshuffles back into your discard pile.
Okay.
So it's like that. So there's the branching paths, but there's other things you can pick up. There's like relics that power you up in different ways. There's potions that are like a one-time use.
Sounds a lot like loot.
It definitely is, but it's got that roguelike element. You lose, and you're done, and you got to start back over at the beginning.
Sure.
But you unlock new stuff that you can unlock in the game. So
you lose your whole deck. Then.
You lose everything, and you start back over at square one.
Okay.
But you unlock new things that can be used. So like the first few unlocks, they're like, oh, here's some new cards that are going to be added to the repertoire that you can choose from. Here's some new relics that might pop up and that sort of thing. Guys, it seems so silly, and especially it seems like the worst game to play on a computer. But let me tell you,
pretty legit.
Every single time I've sat down to play it, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna play a quick Spire run, and it's very hard. It gets very hard.
I do like that.
Well, that's roguelike, right?
Yeah,
that's like the whole shtick.
Spire 2, it was super hard, and I beat it a couple times. Spire 3, I got to the boss once, and he just murdered me.
Is there variation in the bosses?
Yeah. No. All bosses and the mobs are different. You'll start coming across the same ones.
Sure, but in general, it's randomized.
Yeah,
okay.
It's absolutely randomized.
Cool.
And every time I've sat down to play it, I have played for at least an hour. It's crazy. I get so sucked in because you're like, dang it, I can do this. I'm going to do it again. I got to do it again. It's crazy.
I love that.
Guys, I'm serious. It's early access, but the best
Slay
thing...
the Spire on Steam.
Yeah, they focused on gameplay first. So the graphics suck.
Oh, great.
Right? It's not a graphics game, though. It's a gameplay game.
It's a deck card.
Yeah.
On the way out,
yeah,
better or worse than Kobolds and Catacombs Dungeon Run?
It is.
Hey, compare this indie early access game to a Blizzard title.
It sounds like the similar-ish type of thing, but is very, very, very different in terms of the execution of it, like the way it plays and everything. I honestly think it's just as fun, but in a completely different way. It's more satisfying.
So you like apples and you like oranges.
Yeah, it's more satisfying, I'd say, to win. But it's also, you hit that, in Kobolds and Catacombs, you hit a wall at a very, 6th boss, 7th boss, right?
Yeah.
In this, it's like, I've lost on the first Spire so many times. Like,
you've lost on the first boss on.
No, it's impossible to lose on the first boss.
Only an asshole would lose to the first one.
Yeah.
So that's Slay the Spire. Seriously, check it out. I 100% recommend it.
Peterson buy rating, hard buy.
God, that's awesome.
Absolutely. I love it.
Dude, I'm all about roguelike now that I just discovered the genre. Because I just think it's such an awesome approach, and it feels retro almost. Yeah. Like the idea, like that's the feeling you had when you were grinding away. For me, it was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It was really hard for me as a kid.
A classic roguelike title.
It's not a roguelike, but it's the idea that you die and you go back to the beginning. We've lost that in video games these days.
I agree with that old school. I'm just going to call it difficulty.
Everything.
If I'm 100% honest, and the last thing I want to do is sound ignorant on the show, I really don't think that there's a good definition for roguelike. I feel like for me that's MOBA in 2013 is roguelike in 2018. It's another roguelike game.
It's a big
I
one.
can tell you what roguelike is, what it means.
Okay.
It means it is randomly generated.
Okay,
as you go. So that's
fair.
one aspect of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other aspect of it is when you die, you start back at square one, but with new unlocks.
If you did well.
Yeah, if you did well enough, they'll unlock new stuff for you. So you start square one, not exactly the same as you did before.
So unlike on Sonic, if I got to, I don't know, the level before the very last level and just died because I was making stupid decisions, instead of being like, well, F this game, I'm not picking this up again because I just put 4 hours of playing it and I didn't get anywhere. With roguelike, I'd go back to stage one and I'd have a new ability or something because I got so far. And that's really, really, for me, that's satisfying because it overcomes what I really hated about games when I was a kid, like Sonic, was where if I got really, really close to the end and then died,
it didn't matter. You just had to do
it.
It
Didn't matter.
again.
I had nothing to show
school,
for it.
Yeah,
that's how it was. That's how you baked replayability into your game, was making it extremely difficult and punishing.
Could you classify a game like Infinity Blade as a roguelike?
I think that's what it is it not?
Right? Kind of.
Is Infinity Blade not a roguelike game?
No, I mean based off of that classical definition that you just.
Except for that doesn't have the randomly. If all the guys were randomly generated,
they are.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be pushing it, but
okay. Again, just trying to clarify. I'm sure some in the audience have got to be in that same space. Like,
I just searched the Infinity Blade Wikipedia page for the term rogue and didn't find it. So I don't think that
it's probably not a true roguelike. It probably
has elements
of
of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
thank you for expanding my knowledge.
I'm gonna murder my computer mouse. I'm just gonna.
You can't murder a mouse. Well, you can't murder an electronic mouse.
You tempt me.
All right, so let's talk Spencer. What are you playing?
I've got 2 games, and this can kind of be the good meat in our meat sandwich. One is a retread, and the other is just classic. So for me, a big theme the past 3 or 4 episodes, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
It's with a little bit of lamenting, but I basically beat the game.
Oh, man, you did. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's no small feat.
Thank you. It does feel good. I've heard a lot of whining on Utah gamers about, I can't beat certain boss.
This boss. Yeah.
Step your game up, boys. It's possible. But it's one of those things we've talked about, playing and beating games and why it's so difficult to actually beat a game. I think subconsciously it's one of those things, like, it's kind of sad.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
True.
Truthfully, like, you don't. Because I committed, I did it. And now I'm just like, man, we had so many good times with Monster Hunter. I can go down and play it.
He's remembering the good times while that music plays in the background.
All the good stuff we had for free when I, dressed my cat up so it was indistinguishable what kind of animal he was.
I want honesty. I want honesty on this cast, and I want honesty in our friendship, and I want you to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours are you going to put into it now that you've beaten it?
Definitely a few more, and DLC I think is going to drive a lot of that.
There we go. I didn't know they had DLC coming because I swear to God you said on another episode that's it. This is it.
Well, that's what Capcom has done to me that's so interesting, and I think part of the driver of the unexpected success of this title.
Oh God, don't start this.
Is the way that they've delivered the content. Capcom shipped a game start to finish that was complete. That is so rare in 2018.
And one note that I absolutely love about this game is, what did it not contain? There's no loot boxes.
No loot boxes.
Microtransactions.
Nothing like that.
Nope.
But it even, I mean, taking that a step further, right? Because the other thing that people have done with that is like, we're going to ship you like a half-baked game. Yep. Like, so for example,
we'll patch it. We'll patch it. It'll be fine.
We'll patch it. Destiny, for me, is another good example. Even though they are completely separate sides of the world, unrelatable, I feel like that Monster Hunter World didn't cut out like little pieces of core content to sell you later.
Nope.
And so when you're talking about DLC in Monster Hunter World, it is the very purest definition of that. It is simply extra content. Hey, we're going to keep people engaged in this community. We're going to keep people engaged in the world by adding in additional challenges.
And I think games like I think this is important. This game is important right now because it does challenge that notion of I have to if I want to make money, I'm going to have to put microtransactions and loot boxes, which you will make money doing that, no doubt. But you don't have to. You just have to make a good game.
The backlash, if you do it wrong, makes it not even worth it.
I would be very interested to see the financials on Star Wars Battlefront 2 versus Monster Hunter. Like,
that's a really good point.
Well, I can tell you people are going to be playing Monster Hunter for longer than they'll play Battlefront 2.
Yeah, you're playing a different game because the idea with Battlefront 2 is let's get a bunch of suckers invested, make them buy the game, and then we'll sell them later. Monster Hunter was like, let's just put out a great game, and then people's friends will bring in other people, and they'll be like, dude, I want to play this game with you. Go buy it.
It's so crazy, though.
And so they're making $60 off of those things instead of being like, let's just hook in our base and then cut it off at the knees.
Well, you're basically like, can we plug enough people in on this loot box treadmill?
Well, no one's telling their friends to buy Battlefront 2.
No.
People are telling their friends to buy Monster Hunter World.
Hey guys, by the way, go buy Monster Hunter World.
Spencer's been bugging us like crazy. No one bugged anyone to buy Battlefront 2. I didn't see any.
It was like a dare, like, hey.
I bet you won't buy Battlefront 2. You're not that stupid.
Or some type of a curse, like, I wish you could just play Battlefront 2 for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, that was really
Groundhog Day, and all I do is just buy microtransactions.
Yeah. So that's been so interesting for me to see, and Peterson is completely right. Peterson Gong. It's so refreshing, and it's so important in 2018 to have that. A game company committed to making a great game. It didn't come out with a lot of like pomp and circumstance. They're like, here's this product, and people are like, wow, this is incredible. Letting the art stand for itself, and it's shown in sales and everything else. So
I feel like it was like the categorical opposite of No Man's Sky. Like very little hype, but tons of delivering versus tons of hype and zero delivering.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
This was really like a world trial for them, too, because Japan has been loving Monster Hunter games, and the rest of the world is like, well, I don't know.
It's a weird game.
Like,
it's a weird premise.
We don't care. We're going to do it. We're going to put it out there. And, man, did they
killed it.
They just really nailed it.
So that, for me, is, like I said, it's a with a heavy heart, I say that I beat the game because in some ways, I feel freed to move on. Like, I'm not like, oh, I got to go get that next
I know this
piece
feeling
of
you're
monster
describing.
part. Yeah.
You miss it, but you're also excited to move on.
Yeah, so I have that, and I'm kind of in the next phase. But one of the things I have that's kind of brought me back is just the incredible turmoil that we've had in our Clash Royale clan. The leader's back, sitting on the throne, not absentee anymore. And I've jumped back in. Clash Royale.
What's your trophy count?
It's climbing. 3750 is my
highest.
highest.
You are climbing.
Yeah. What is it? What are you at?
3750.
He was at like 35s last I talked to him.
Not bad.
I'm not 4,000. Again, the people sitting next to me are more accomplished Clash Royale players.
That's right. Very distinguished.
However,
People talk about us. People talk about our Clash Royale
I will
trophy
eclipse
count.
your trophy count.
He will if he has to pull out his wallet.
Wow.
I already have
5 more times.
I have every card, and I have them all at my disposal.
Oh, wow. Challenge accepted.
If you guys want to get in to our Clash Royale clan, we always have a few open spots.
And I boot people weekly.
We boot people all the time.
Like people go inactive, I'm like, now boot them. It's like a...
So if you're interested, you're playing Clash Royale is a mobile game. It is deck building MOBA. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's a deck building mini MOBA. It's called Clash Royale, and our clan is capital Rick James, capital James, but the S is a $sign.
Rick
Classy.
James.
Rick James.
Classy.
So if you want to join our clan, just hop on in, send us a request. If you say you're 3-Bit Gamer Show sent you, you're definitely getting in, but you'll get in regardless
because no one else can turn you down. Us three are the only people who can accept.
Yeah. And we wield it.
Yeah, well, we wield it.
Yeah, we definitely don't relinquish.
Yeah, so if you want to come watch Spencer's second Phoenix visit into Clash Royale before he burns himself out. Oh my God, producer Dylan just brought us some Szechuan sauce.
Are you really serious?
See, look,
I'm so excited.
First ingredient: water, sugar, distilled vinegar, cornstarch, wheat, soybeans, salt. These are
real quick. Dylan has approved us to give this away.
No.
I have a container of Szechuan sauce to give away to a guest. And all you have to do to enter this drawing for this is to tweet us, send us a message, send us an email, and all you have to say is, I want Dylan's sauce.
That's right.
Send that to us, and you will get entered into the drawing.
This is the worst.
For Szechuan sauce.
Dylan
sauce.
I want Dylan's sauce.
This stuff's good, man. This Szechuan sauce is good.
It's a great time to be alive. JD, create the heel of our sandwich for us. What are you playing?
I just don't know if it's the heel.
It's the last little piece of bread.
Yours is a good one. Do you want me to talk one? I'll do one more small one and then go to yours.
Talk a different one, yeah. Because I'm going to go pretty deep into mine.
I'll only go one more because I know JD wants to talk his quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I did start playing Subnautica.
What is that?
Subnautica, first of all, it's $30 on Steam. It is a survival explorer game. But the premise is you were on a spaceship. The spaceship had some major malfunction and crash landed on a planet.
Like it so far?
The planet is a ocean world. Water world.
Also interesting.
And you were on an escape pod by yourself.
With Kevin Costner or without Kevin Costner?
No Kevin Costner yet. I've heard that he's coming for me.
Yes.
And the what are they called? The bad guys. What are they called? I can't remember.
Gassers, greasers, oilers.
Something like that.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's called expensive.
So you're on this, and you start off, and you don't really know what to do. It's not a game that holds your hand, and you're like, what do I do? Like most survival games. Think like Ark Survival Evolved.
Yeah, there's some breadcrumbs that you can follow to and hey, there might be some meat over there. Hey,
it'll give you hints.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're in this little pod, and you're like, okay, this is my world now, and you just explore it a little bit.
This is my world now.
And then you drop in to the water. It's just you go through this hatch, and all of a sudden you're in this beautiful, colorful, vibrant world just completely teeming with alien marine life. And you're like, okay, I guess I got to figure out what I can eat and what I can do. And you have a little thing that goes and scans things and discovers them. And you just swim around, and the primary thing, the primary resource that you are constantly needing is air. I go up to the surface.
Yeah.
You have a scuba tank, and in this game you can craft new scuba gear, better gear that lets you stay down for longer, because the further you go down, you'll find these little caves that'll just have a hole that goes way down, and you start diving down, and the whole ecosystem changes completely, which is why it's like an exploring game.
So you're unlocking abilities to get more air so you can go deeper.
So you can go deeper, and
That's
then
so
you learn how to create, you find your huge spaceship. It's not hard to find it. It's just right there in the open, and it's huge. But you have to craft certain items to go on it, because it's teeming with radiation and stuff.
This is so cool.
So you go to it, and you can scan, and you're scanning the blueprints for vehicles. So then you build a vehicle so you can go down even deeper, and the ecosystem changes. And when I say that, it looks completely different. Everything is alien again. So it's awesome because you just once you're comfortable with an area, then you go and find a new one, and you're like, I guess I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And then as you're doing this, a story unfolds. There's another ship that's out there looking for you. And
is this a single player game?
Single player.
That's so neat.
And I'm telling you, it's so much fun. The game is beautiful. And if you have VR, it does have VR support. And think about this. I've heard the game is incredible in VR because you're wearing a headset. In the game, you're wearing a scuba mask.
Yeah, it's pretty
And so
immersive.
it's very immersive, and you're in there, and you're just looking around this beautiful world. This game is so much fun. If you love those explorer survival games, honestly pick it up. It's $30. It's not a huge commitment, and I've been playing for I don't know, probably got 12 hours into it.
Oh, wow.
And I've got so much still to do, and I keep discovering new things. Oh man, it's just so fun, and it's so pretty, and the music's cool, and
another Peterson hard buy.
Yeah, no, and I bought this one off of a recommendation from other people, which was a great recommendation. So definitely check this out if you're into that genre. You will enjoy this game, and I'll say it's easier to start than Ark. Because when I played Ark
was a little.
I'd start it and be like, I'd die immediately. Yeah. Like, this is so stupid.
It's pretty punishing.
Leave me alone, mosquitoes. Can't handle it.
This definitely like eases you into the really crazy hard stuff.
Better learning curve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subnautica, look it up.
So Peterson's been playing all the indies, all little dinky titles you never heard of.
I don't like to spend more than $30 on a game.
I hopped in my time machine, went back to last Q4.
Way back.
Way back, dude. There's so many games that I haven't gotten to from Q4 last year and probably won't be done till Q4 this year. If this game is any sign, and it's Assassin's Creed Origins. The latest Assassin's Creed game. Everyone's heard of Assassin's Creed. The premise is that you take the role of this assassin as part of this millennia-old assassin guild of assassins that are the counterpoint to the Knights Templar, who are some other evil organization. And you, in this game, but ultimately, it takes place in the future, where we have this technology called an animus that allows you to tap into your DNA to go relive the memories of your ancestors. And so in this game, you are reliving the memories of what I haven't gotten to this point, but I assume he's the first assassin. I think he's meant to be the first assassin, the first member or the founding member of this guild of assassins. And it takes place in ancient Egypt. Actually, that's not accurate. It takes place in old Egypt. Because
ancient and old, are they? What's the difference between
this?
Those
Is like 56. This is like 56 BC. Okay. So if you're well versed in Egyptian history, you'll
which
know
most of us are not.
Which most people in the world are not, because we don't know a lot.
The Great Pyramids of Egypt were built 6,000 years ago. So they were built 4,000 years before this game takes place, which is a little surreal to think about. You have to almost think about it in context of something like Game of Thrones, where they have the wall, the big northern ice wall, and they don't have the technology, know-how, or even the historical context to understand who built that wall, how they built it, or what its original purpose was. And that's where this game takes place. I love this period of Egyptian history where it's got a lot of crossover with Roman and Egyptian history, Roman and Greek history, and you have the Greeks coming in and looking at this, and they're making up their own bullshit about ancient Egyptian history because no one really knows how to read hieroglyphs at this point. And
except for the aliens.
This is really neither here nor there. This game, now you have the setup. I've played a few Assassin's Creed games. I've liked them. The idea is that you're running around, you're kind of doing parkour, you're climbing up buildings.
It's Assassin's Creed.
Are you doing hardcore parkour or just reggae parkour?
And then you will jump off buildings, and you have and you'll kill guys, and you sneak around in bushes, and jump out and kill them.
As
and all
one
this,
does.
You're an assassin. So I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed games. They're all the same. This game is not. This game, it turns the whole Assassin's Creed genre on its head. I feel like it is, even though it was an Assassin's Creed game, I feel like this was tragically underappreciated because of the games it was released around. But it
got good review scores.
Yeah, like people who played it loved it.
But not that many people. Everyone's like, oh, another
played.
Assassin's Creed game. Who gives a shit? It's like if they just released a random Call of Duty game and there wasn't a ton of hype around it, but it turned out to be like the best Call of Duty game ever made. I would say hands down, without a doubt, this is the best Assassin's Creed game made, period. They've thought of everything in this game. They have stuff like they have a day-night cycle. But, for example, when they first prompted me with a tooltip to be like, hey, you should wait till the nighttime to kill this guy. It'll be easier. Hit this button to go to the night cycle. Instead of just being like, beep, zoop, and it fast forward or what X, Y, or Z, the entire camera, when you press this button, shifts up, and then it gives you, which gives you this incredible vista no matter where you're facing. Because either you're facing the pyramids, or you're facing the lighthouse of Alexandria, or you're facing the Sphinx. And it doesn't matter where you're facing, but it's going to zoom up, and then it does this like amazing time lapse. And it's the most cinematic, gorgeous thing. I'm doing this on a 960, like the shittiest graphics card you can imagine, and it looks incredible. There is things like, so you hop on a horse and you want to ride your horse around. You can. I hopped on a horse and I was riding it, and it says hold A to essentially assign your horse to just ride along this road indefinitely, and your horse will just do it. Which you're like, that's dumb, and I'm sure some people would be like, well, that takes away, that automates parts of my experience. But you know what? Anyone that played Red Dead Redemption, anyone that's played a game where you ride a horse for excessive periods of time and is sit there pressing A intermittently to keep your horse going speed, come on. I didn't even know it bugged me until I played this game. I was like, that's how you play horse games.
It speaks to the thumbless gamer as well.
And then you can hold Y, and it will also, the horse will take you to your destination. So you set a destination, you hold A, you hold Y, and then you can switch to the falcon view, because of course your Egyptian assassin has a trained falcon that at any given moment he can transition to this falcon's view, which is always hovering about 100 feet above you, and it serves almost as an interactive map.
He went to falcon school. I get it.
He's a falconer. And so instead of just pressing the map button, you can use your falcon and see where you're going and directly interact and engage with where you're going.
Can't you mark the map? Like
you can mark it as a bird.
Like,
you can mark it.
I gotta mark that.
Like you can see an alligator you want to kill, mark it with your bird, and then task your horse to run through. Oh, by the way, while you're riding your horse, you can watch yourself riding your horse from your bird.
Yeah.
And then and the combat. The combat is so fluid. It makes other games that have this type of design, they look bad. They don't look as stylish. The ambient events are incredible. So I raided this like desert camp that was in the desert or whatever, and it was supposed to have a captain, like a boss guy there that I was supposed to kill. So I roll up. I have my bird. My bird flies around. He tags all the enemies. I tag all the enemies, so I know there's 8 guys. But I don't see the captain. And I'm like, well, this is weird. Is it bugged? Is it something? And I turn my bird a little bit, and this guy with his big old mace is just kind of like half running down a sand dune in the distance. Because he's like, and I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what the purpose was. And the way he's running, it looks like if you try to run downhill on a sand dune, you know, that kind of, it would kind of like
sliding.
That's exactly what it looks like. It looked like it was a human being, and he was running to the camp. So, of course, I waited right by the entrance of the camp and slaughtered him before he even got there. And none of his friends knew about it. But, I mean, there's the gameplay is really challenging. It's not punishing. And then, finally, the biggest thing for me is that they added a slew of RPG elements, a skill tree, like, you know, but it's a very robust skill tree. There's a weapons tree. There's all this stuff in it. I don't know. All I can say, and I'll finish on this, is I played Horizon Zero Dawn. I plugged a ton of time into it, and within 2 hours of playing this game, I knew I liked it more than Horizon.
Wow.
Which was a game of the year last year. And I loved Horizon, and this game fixed all the complaints I didn't know I had about Horizon.
I love that.
One of the biggest ones,
sand physics, you know?
One of the things that it really bugged me, I didn't realize about Horizon, what I did kind of realize is that everywhere you go, there are the robot animals, and they're always aggro, which is the whole plot, is that these robot animals that used to be peaceful have gone aggro. I was thinking, and I haven't beaten the game, so maybe this happens. I kept thinking throughout the game, playing it, that eventually I would be able to tame some of them, or make some of them less aggro, or be invisible to them, or X, Y, or Z. Never happened. So if I'm riding my horse through Horizon in the same way I'm riding it in Assassin's Creed, which I can't do automatically, I'm getting attacked constantly. I'm riding, and these amazing, it takes place in Utah, these incredible vistas, these things I should be able to appreciate. I can't, because I'm running constantly running away. In Assassin's Creed, I can just stop, and I can just enjoy all the things. If it will show me if some guy is transporting gold on the road, and I can tag it with my bird, and I can go right alongside him, and nothing will happen. Or I can hit him with my mace and steal his gold, and, you know, I'm not going to constantly just be... It's like imagine playing Grand Theft Auto, but everyone's a cop, and and you always have 2 stars. That's how Horizon felt, and it's just stressful, and it's not. I don't get to enjoy it, but Assassin's Creed really seems to want to let me enjoy the game, and I'm just enjoying the hell out of it. It's Assassin's Creed Origins. It's $60.
Hard buy.
It's a hard buy.
It'll go on sale too. Like it will be on the next.
Yeah, keep
sale.
an eye on it. Unfortunately, you will play it on Uplay, but. And I want to tell one story I had that was amazing.
Boy.
Really, really quick, and it kind of gives you the idea of the ambient cinematic gameplay. Is that I was running, so I'm just running around, just doing nonsense, right? And I see a cave, and my bird tells me there's a cave. So I ride toward the cave, and then I hop off my horse. I start to walk in, and only as I'm getting closer to the cave do I realize there's like a bandit camp right there, and I've walked into it. So I freak out. I start to run away. As I'm running, there are arrows whistling past my head, and like you can feel it, like it's tense. Like there's arrows, you see them flying, and then I whistle for my horse. My horse comes riding up right behind me, and I'm able to gracefully hop on the horse and then wheel back around. And I've got one of those. I don't know what the weapon's called. What's that weapon called? There was a long stick with a big metal thing on the end. It's like a mace.
A lance?
It's like a lance. It's like a pike, but it's got a heavy. Pike. It's like it's got a heavy thing.
Like.
Plants.
It's got a heavy ball on the end, so it's not a
like.
spiking thing. You're like whacking them.
Yeah.
So I roll back around, and one of the guys who is one of the archers that was chasing me on foot, all of a sudden like stops, like oh shit, but it's too late because this thing is in his chest, and I'm talking like it's not just like an awkward video game animation. It's like I do this thing like this amazing swing behind me when I hit the action button, and it comes up underneath and lays him out. And then as I come around in a circle, there's a guy sitting there, and he is being hassled by my falcon. He's doing this. He's waving his arms because this bird's attacking him. I didn't assign it to do this. I didn't do any of this. And as I run, and I'm running toward him, he stops waving his arms and looks at me right before I kill him.
The geniuses at Ubisoft.
God, dude,
so can I just? I know we're going a little bit long.
No,
on
this is
but
it. I'm done.
Wait, I just want to do one quick thing about this game that JD hasn't done yet, so he's not talking. But I've heard a lot about, and it sounds super interesting. They have the.
Please, I hope you're going to say it. Let's hear
the learning mode.
Yeah, history mode. That's what I was going to say.
History mode, where you're controlling a character, but they've turned off all the aggro. There's no fighting. You can't go fight anyone, and you just walk around. And all of these, because Assassin's Creed builds these beautiful real worlds,
historical settings,
and so you can go around and look at the library at Alexandria or whatever, and it'll tell you all about it. Because they did a lot of research. We don't know what the library looks like, but they did a lot of research about it, and so they will sit there and tell you why they did this and why they did that, and tell you the history of the area you're looking at. Which is awesome, you guys.
No, I mean this is like history class credit quality type of stuff in terms of you basically it's I've heard it being compared to you go on a museum tour through these sites in a virtual space, right? So you'll go and you'll click on signs. This is such and such building. It was erected in such and such date. These are some of the things. Then you can go and like walk and explore. So that to me is so cool. The tagline I heard for it was that Ubisoft is putting so much work into historically researching these games. A lot of it was just going to waste because the player was saying, wow, here's a cathedral in Florence. Oh, but my target I need to kill is down there. Or, these type of things. You just bypass all of the hard work that people put in, and this allows people to experience the history, which is one of the pillars of the Assassin's Creed franchise, right?
I think that's incredible.
It's all history.
Super cool.
Incredible.
So I haven't gotten into it yet, but I will report back on the history mode. I've just been so obsessed with the game.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to do that before you finish the game. I don't think. I want to.
No.
That's like a post-fit. That's like the end credits, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So sorry to go long, but that was God, I just love that game. So we wanted to talk really briefly about this. Was a a listener recommendation. This came from Ian Allred. Sent us a message on Facebook. He wanted us to listen to this podcast called Darknet Diaries.
Just a specific episode
called Manfred. It was episode 7 and 8. It's a two-parter. And so I listened to it and devoured it. Immediately was like, Peterson, you have to listen to it. And then Peterson devoured it.
I was like, I'm going to lunch, but okay, whatever. I'll listen to one of them. Nope. 40 minutes later, because they're 20, 25 minutes
Yeah, they're
long.
20. Yeah. So both these episodes and we gotta strongly recommend this. This is Darknet Diaries. The episode is called Manfred Part 1 and Manfred Part 2. It's episode 7 and 8, and it walks through. He interviews a guy that hacks and has a long history of hacking online video games.
Yep,
and it's fascinating. It's like he walks through like how he does this, how he processes these hacks, and then how it makes it really relatable. Like, I'm not a coder or programmer. I don't have any of that knowledge, but he would put it in very basic terms, and he explains like how this guy did it. It was just like you're essentially just going through the game files and just doing stuff at random, and then once you've done that stuff, loading that into the game and seeing if it does anything.
I mean, the purpose of it is to try and break the code, right?
Right.
So as he's going through it, he's looking for specific weaknesses in the code and specific ways to hack. I mean, I think that's kind of the thing. This is a good primer for someone not interested or not educated about, computer hacking and things like that. Understanding the process. Understanding the process.
So cute. This is the cutest episode.
Oh, so bad. Sorry.
Oh my. Need some peanut butter.
Understanding how hacking works and just a quick little overview of that.
So, yeah, and one point that I have to make, because every gamer hates hackers that ruin games for people.
Yeah.
Right? That's not necessarily what this guy was doing. He was not trying to be malicious, so to speak. There are some that are maybe a teeny bit malicious against rival
rival
clans.
Lots of the shittier hackers, like in if you're hacking Call of Duty 4 right now, you're a shithead.
Yeah, if you're one of the hackers that killed me in PUBG, like, I hate you. But that's not what he's doing. He's not hacking a game to beat the game. He plays it, and then once he's bored of it, he's like, "Oh, let's see what I can do."
And it's honestly, it's if you're a curious person, it will speak to you. There's this scene where he has found out how to delete people's houses in EverQuest, right?
I believe it was EverQuest.
And he just deleted this person's very expensive, very nice house and gotten all the items using a hack. And
because he deletes the house and then the items are just sitting there. So he can go pick them up.
Yeah, so he builds 3 new houses on top of this old house's location. And then he's just standing there, and a crew, including the owner of the former house, shows up. And he's this low-level, level 1 character, because that's what he's using to hack with, because he doesn't want to, like, invest too much time into it. And so he's standing there in, like, his underwear, essentially, while these people that are all high-level characters are standing around, like, well, they're talking, like, what the hell happened? Yeah. What's going on here? Where did these 3 houses come from? And I was so stressed. This is a video game where you're just standing somewhere, and I was so anxious. I was like, "Go! You gotta go!
Run away!"
And so it's like, so that's just a little teaser. But like, he was standing there because he was curious. He just wanted to know what people were gonna say. He wanted to know what their response was gonna be. He wanted to see if the developers or the moderators were gonna get involved and how they were gonna get involved.
Did show up in that instance,
and the moderator does nothing.
Fascinating.
And so he learns through standing there that he can continue to delete houses, and the mods A won't know what's going on, and B won't do anything. So check it out. Thank you so much to Ian Allred for sending us. This is Darknet Diaries, and the episode is called Manfred. If you guys have recommendations, if you ever have things you want to send us, like, please, we will listen. And I'm just going to add to this because shipping is expensive. You want your Szechuan sauce? You got to recommend something to us. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, or send us an email.
Reach out to us. Give us some content. Give us some value.
Give us something cool, video game related you've seen, and hopefully you give us something as cool as Ian did, and we'll give you a shout, and I will send you some dope-ass Szechuan sauce, and as a bonus, I will send you some swag as well. So Szechuan sauce and a swag for a recommendation.
Should we send Ian some swag?
Yeah. Ian,
let's do it.
Ian, I'll hit you up. We'll send you some shit because this was so cool. I have listened to the whole podcast now.
Yeah,
they're all great. The whole podcast is good. All right, so we got to move on.
Dice of Destiny. Dice. Destiny. We're gonna recreate that perfectly every time.
Yep. So you pretty much gave us your review.
Yeah. Well, I gave you the real basic version. So I rolled in the Dice of Destiny. I rolled a puzzle game. And all the other rolls pretty much gave it so I could play any puzzle game, right? So I had my eye on this game called Gorogoa, Gorogoa, for a while now. I'd heard about it before it was released, and I was interested. Essentially, let me give you the nuts and bolts again of Gorogoa. It is a puzzle game where you have 4 tiles in a square, and you move and manipulate the tiles to solve a puzzle. Like, sometimes you're trying to move a ball or move a person or move a thing somewhere, and you'll have to move the piece in the right spot, click, and it'll start moving, and you got to move the tiles fast enough to catch it or something like that. It's extremely clever because you don't get new images ever. It just plays off the same image. Like, for example, there's a doorway that was super small, and I knew you needed to get through it. So I had to mess with the tiles to essentially, without the size of my character changing, get through that doorway. So I'd climb up a ladder, and then I'd move a piece down that looks like the end of the ladder, which in the context of the picture it's not. But when I put them together, it looks like it. And I climbed down the ladder, and all of a sudden, like, I am the same size as the picture I climbed into, which is much smaller. And so it just manipulates. It manipulates space. It manipulates images. It is beautiful. I absolutely loved it. So I sat down with all my kids at one point. All of us were, me and my 8-year-old. We were playing this, and he was fascinated. And the other thing is, when you solve a puzzle, it is so rewarding. Like, because they are pretty challenging, and once you do it, you're like, oh, yes. And
so you finish with, like, the big picture. I guess, that's the payoff for the puzzle is, like...
Well, so ultimately, there's 5 colored balls that you're trying to collect throughout the whole thing.
It's a ball collecting game?
Well, you start... I mean, I don't want to give away any of the premise or anything like that, but you're trying to... You see this image in a book at the beginning of 5 balls, and you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, and you go around to collect them. And, like, for example, the yellow ball might be a sun in the sky, and you know it, but you need to figure out how to get that sun, turn it into something that you can grab, and put in your little bucket.
How much is this game?
So it's $15, and here's what I will say.
That is expensive.
I loved it. It was $15, and it took me about 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours
I remember
to
you
beat.
saying it was pretty quick.
So I will say that was my biggest disappointment, was that it was so fast. But it is an experience unrivaled that I've ever had in a puzzle game. So if you have a Switch, get it on the Switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely consider it, and know that it's short. If they released another one, 100% I would buy it, though. That's the thing. That's how much I enjoyed it, and my son enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, absolutely beautiful. The only hiccup that I had was that it was definitely too short. I wanted more and more and more and more. But it's all hand-drawn, so you can see how this would be hard to make a 12-hour game all hand-drawn.
Is it early access, though?
No. Nope, it's done.
It's a full release.
It's a finished game, full release. Seriously, though, just go in and look at it and see if you're interested.
Yeah.
Because it is...
Is the replayability, there's 0?
I mean, if you played it again in, like, a few months, you would forget most of it. You would kind of remember some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But actually getting there was difficult enough to where... And it's one big puzzle. It's not like, solve a puzzle, here we go, ding, new board.
Yeah.
It's
Can you speed run it? I mean, is that any type of replayability?
If you knew how to... Yeah, you could speed run it for sure.
Okay.
It was... Guys, it was beautiful. An amazing experience. Look it up. Like I said, just the price point was hard for me, but... I absolutely loved it. My kids loved it. It was fascinating.
You got some value there.
Yeah, some good times, like going to a movie, right?
Yep.
Me and Colin went to a movie. Ryan played with us. He's 4. Graham played with us, who's 10. Like, they all joined in at one point. So that being said,
get us another one. So
I
got this
for a reroll.
I got them. So let's re-roll. So Dice of Destiny, if you're unaware, since we glossed over this, is our favorite segment where we throw a 20-sided dice. And that has 20 different game genres on it. And we roll for the genre. We roll to see how much money we can spend on it. We roll to see if it's a AAA or an indie title. And then finally we roll to see who's going to play said game. And then that person has a week to pick their game that falls in those categories. And then they can and then they play a game. So it forces us to find games that we would never normally play, and it's really cool. So Peterson...
Or to buy a game that I'd been looking at and hadn't committed to.
You have to roll for it.
Peterson won our last roll, so he's going to roll this time. So tell us what our genre is going to be.
Okay, new rule, though, because JD's die is completely loaded. No re-rolling the same genre twice in a row.
No repeats. We're going to get party game again.
14
is
turn-based strategy.
Oh, yes.
This is a huge one.
I'm excited for this one already.
I'm going to roll 10. I'm going to roll a 1 though. Let's roll for cost.
Yeah, roll.
I'm going to roll a $10 game. Good luck. A 6.
So you can any game basically.
Pretty much any game. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3 is indie, 4, 5, 6 is anything. 5.
Okay.
So it's
any turn-based game
Spencer
ever.
wants
any
this to be.
This is a great roll.
Ever. So wait. So it's Spencer's 1, 2.
I'm 3, 4.
And I'm 5, 6.
And JD's 5, 6. Here we go.
Nice.
Okay.
Here I go again, baby.
Here I go, Dyson again. So Peterson.
Oh my gosh. And I absolutely turn-based strategy is one of my favorite genres. So this is going to be awesome.
There's lots of good games out right now.
I could not get into Civ. I could not get into Crusader Kings too.
Yeah, well that game was impossible to get into.
I'm glad you got this one because they're not my bread and butter. So I'm stoked.
Dude, there's a lot of good games out right now.
There's a ton of good ones.
So many. I'm excited. You guys, this is going to be awesome.
Good roll.
Gonna be.
And you know I'm going to buy like a $15 indie game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Early access, AAA ridiculous garbage, blah, blah, blah.
All right, dudes. Well, that does it for us this week. We have a bunch of stuff we didn't get to, but we'll get to it later. We do want to talk about how Trump thinks that video games are causing gun violence.
Yeah,
but
so
I think we're going to do a whole...
We're recording this on a Wednesday. He's supposedly meeting with...
in the White House with the main lobbyist groups for the video game industry to blame them for gun violence. So we'll have some shit to talk about. I'm sure it'll be a little old news, but we want to get into that. And then we also want to get into our 3-bit championship next week.
And trust me, you guys want to hear JD rant about this.
Oh, yeah. You always want to hear me rant, huh? So to play us out, if you haven't heard enough about it, we've got the theme from Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ran it so long. It's just such a good game. All right, so please make sure to rate and subscribe us anywhere you listen, if that's on a podcast app, if that's on iTunes or Google Play. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook. We've been getting a trickle of new Facebook fans. We love talking. That's where, like I said, that's where Ian was able to send us this. So check us out. We're all over social media, and we want to talk to you. So reach out and hit us up. 3-Bit Gamer Show is a production of Broadway Media. Mike Weiss did our theme music, and our producer Dylan Allred did everything else. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson, going AFK.
Spencer, registering for the Assassin's Creed history course.